And you already hit record, right, Tink? No. Go ahead, 3, 2, 1, go.
The recording has started.
I used to be a demon newbie until I watched Frank's UB2B. With a twinkle in his eye and God by his side, Frank's teachings reaches far and wide. So whenever I need a dinar fix, I tune into Frank26. He's got the latest, greatest news from the street. Tune in now, tune in here, this is the dinar beat. Now take it from me, Frank is no rookie. It's okay, Tink, give this man a cookie. You never know what suit he'll be wearing, so I wear my sunglasses because they are so glaring. So whenever I need a dinar fix, I tune into Frank26. He's got the latest, greatest news from the street. Tune in now, tune in here, this is the dinar beat. Sit up, be patient, and get ready. Frank's got some news from Walking Stick and Eddie. Frank breaks down the news and keeps us straight. Come on, Iraq, can you give us the rate? So whenever I need a dinar fix, I tune into Frank26. He's got the latest, greatest news from the street. Tune in now, tune in here, this is the dinar beat. Hey, Tink, I need a cookie. Come on, Tink, I deserve some cookies.
Oh no.
Cookies. Come on, Tink, give up the cookies.
She's eating them. Greetings, family. Welcome to another one of your FRANK26 UB2Bs. This is an infomercial. If you notice, the title of your UB2B is called Cardio for Life. We're not going to be talking about the Iraqi dinar. We're not going to be talking about the Iraqi dinar, are we? We're not going to talk about that, are we? You know me. So with that in mind, I welcome you to one of our infomercials. This is an important one because we're introducing a new product called Cardio for Life. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I've battled cancer. We've brought you products that have helped me to battle cancer. I'm grateful to God for this knowledge because knowledge is powerful information. I became an expert in the field of cancer. In order to defeat your enemy, you must know your enemy very well. I have cancer now in my bloodstream. So I take a product that keeps my sugar underneath 100, and I shared it with you, and thousands of you are happy about it. I am now at an age where I'm going to be 70 years old. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. keep it down, the peanut gallery. Keep it down back there. Keep it down. Yeah, 70. And I know that the next health issue, that I am going to severely deal with is cardiovascular. Yeah, from my veins to my arteries to my capillaries to my microcapillaries, that's the plumbing of my body. And if I don't have my plumbing nice and clean, well, then you're not going to have blood delivering nutrition and oxygen to the rest of your body. When you get to my age of around 70, no wonder your fingertips get cold and your nose, your tip of your nose gets cold and your toes get cold because blood don't go all the way down there no more. Your plumbing don't work. It can only reach so far. Your plumbing is plugged. And it's not like you can drink any Drano. So instead, we bring you a product called Cardio for Life that has been extremely successful. Phenomenally successful in helping human beings with their cardiovascular structure, with their heart issues, with just simply recovering from heart issues. We are about to introduce to you our dear brother, Dr. Rich, who's going to give you his testimony. My testimony is one in which I just presented that at my age, you are like me, baby boomers. Most of the population I'm talking to right now, we baby boomers, aren't we? We're from the 50s, we're from the 60s. And right about now, our bodies are breaking down. I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Rich, who's going to give you an amazing story, because guess what? The doctors told him, your heart's about to stop. Your heart's about to give out on you. You might as well get your papers in order. Tres Santa Marias, holy whatever this, and throw some water on you too, because you're leaving this earth. And then I'll tell you something. When that little Chinese doctor, Dr. Lee, on Lewart Street in Hawaii, and that medical clinic comes out and sits next to me in his office, and he says to me, Mr. Frank, you have Mandarin-sized tumor in your bladder. You have 2 months to live. To this day, that floor is still stained red because all the blood rushed from my head down to that floor. When they told Dr. Rich he was going to die within days, the stress, you know what I mean? I don't think he was too scared about dying, but he wasn't prepared to leave his family yet. Things weren't in order yet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Rich was saved by this miraculous product, and now I'm going to turn it over to him. He's going to sit and talk with you. He's going to tell you his story. He's going to talk about this product. And if you'd like, we'll open it up to questions and answers at the end, okay? And from this point onward, this video, 3325, that's easy to remember, 3325, will be the reference video for Cardio Life. Now, it turns out that on the 17th of this month, which is what, two weeks from now? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, 2 weeks from now. We have the founder, the originator, the creator of Cardio Life, Dr. Harris. And he will be with us for an hour program where he's going to explain and talk to us as well, too, about this product. I really am encouraged that you're here right now to listen. And I want you then to come back and listen to Dr. Harris on the 17th as well, too.
Harry.
Huh?
Harry.
Oh, I said Harris. Dr. Harry, excuse me. But remember, 335, because if you got somebody that's got heart problems, I'm telling you, what if you told them about this product and it helped them? How would you feel? He would feel the way Dr. Rich feels. Dr. Rich, are you there, my brother?
I'm here. Can you hear me, Frank?
Yes, loud and clear, brother. The floor is yours. When you want to bring me into it, you go right ahead. While you're talking, I'm going to hold up the products and flyers and all kinds of pretty things I got here. The floor is yours, my friend.
Okay, Frank. Listen, I'm excited that you're bringing Dr. Harry Elwart on the 17th. And for that reason, I'm not going to go into the product a lot as to what's in it. Just a little bit. But, Frank, I don't very often get emotional when I'm doing or asked to do some type of a presentation. But 14 years ago, on New Year's Eve night, morning, it was 1:30 in the morning as I sat in the emergency room at Fairmont General Hospital with intense pain that developed in my right leg. I remember my daughter, who was at the time a paramedic, and she said to me, "Dad, either You let us drive you into the hospital, or I'm calling 911 and they'll take you in. And I said, I don't want to go in the buggy. I said, just take me in. So I made my way in there, and they sat me down, and they asked me what was going on, and they made me a priority because I told them I might be clotted. And so they took me in on the wheelchair and put me on the table when they started the Doppler, and my wife was getting sick at her stomach. She was watching the screen, and it was like, I don't know, something's going on here. Well, as it turned out, 6 days before that, it had snowed, and I was plowing our 220-foot paved driveway with a gravely walk-behind tractor, and with a plow on the front of it. It does a very good job, but I'm going up the hill in an area that I'd already plowed, and it was slippery, and my feet slipped out from under me, and I smacked my right shin on the blacktop really hard. I mean, it hurt. But it was bruised a little bit, but I went in and iced it, and I thought it'll be okay. And lo and behold, 6 days later, it was determined in that hospital examination that early morning that I was clotted solid from my right ankle to my groin. And the nurse looked at me and said, you probably don't have more than 48 hours to live. And I looked at her, and my wife was crying, and my response was, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus, but what's going on? And she told me, and she said, do not move your leg. If any of that clotting breaks off and goes to the heart or the brain or even the lungs, you're going to be dead in a couple minutes. And she said, this is severe, Mr. Petrus. And she said, this isn't good. And she said, but I will tell you, the doctors are on their way in here, that if you do happen to survive this, it's going to be 16 months on a blood thinner, and you're going to have to take a narcotic. The pain was really, it was unbearable. I understand that the only thing that could be worse is, or equal to, is trying to pass, and the inability to pass a kidney stone in childbirth. So, long story, very short, she said, if you survive, it's going to be at least 16 months on a blood thinner to metabolize the clots, and then you'll have to go to rehab because you'll be addicted to the narcotic, but you're going to have to take it. You won't be able to stand it. And she was probably right. It was very painful. And they were going to admit me, and I said, why? And they said, are you going to do drip heparin treatment? She said, no. We're going to give you a shot like this. She said, lift up your shirt, and I did, and they swabbed and cleaned around the navel, and she injected a small vial of liquid in there, which is called Lavoxin. And she said, we need to give you a shot like that twice a day. Oh, I go back. Let me go back a minute. She said, you need to take a shot of this drug around your navel twice a day. And she had cleaned it. And I said, let me see what that is. And she looked, and I took it out of her hand and took the end of it off and stuck it into the area around the navel and injected myself. And I said, ma'am, would you kindly throw this away? Oh, my God, Frank, the lady about had a heart attack. I'm calling the doctor. I said, please do. And I finally said to the doctor, look, he said, look, this could break off. You could be dead very quickly. I said, you're right. I said, but my wife's food on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day is a whole lot better than this hospital. And I can watch TV at home just like I can here. And I said, if this clot breaks off, even though I'm in the hospital, by the time I page a nurse and somebody finally comes to the room, I'm probably going to be gone. Correct? And he said, yes. And I said, well, I'll take my chances at home. I'm not ignorant about the situation. I will do what I'm supposed to do. And I did. And so I went home. They took me home. They gave me a narcotic. I got the prescription for the shots. And I called somebody, a colleague, and they said, are you taking L-arginine? And I said, you mean the amino acid? And they said, yes. And I said, no. And they said, well, you need to do some research about that and blood clots. And I did, and it kept saying L-arginine as a precursor to NO, which is nitric oxide. And so my wife, I said, look at all these articles. There's hundreds of them. And I said, there's a doctor who was awarded a Nobel Peace Prize for research in this. And she said, well, Google and see if there's a company that sells an L-arginine vascular formula. And I did that, and there were two. I called the first one, and nobody answered. I called the second one, and they talked with me, and they said, we're going to put you in touch with someone who can get this for you. It was a male nurse in the Philadelphia area. And he talked to me, and he said, I can help you. He said, but you need to talk to Dr. Harry Elwart. And I said, how do I do that? He said, here's his number. So I called him, and I explained my situation. He said, just stay on the couch, keep your leg elevated, do not get up unless you absolutely have to. He said, hold on. And he three-wayed me in to Dr. John Cook, head of vascular studies at Stanford University Med School. And I was reading Dr. Cook's book at the time. And he said, he comes on and he said, Richard. And I said, yes, sir. I said, who am I speaking with? And he said, John Cook. Dr. Harry said, Dr. John Cook, head of vascular studies at Stanford University. I said, oh my God. I said, I'm so pleased to talk to you. I said, I'm reading your book. And he said, we'll talk about that later. Tell me what's going on. And I did. And he asked me at the end of the consultation, did they diagnose you with a clotting disorder? And I said, yes. He said, which one? I said, heterozygous. He said, well, that's the better of the two. And he said, but I'm going to tell you, relative to my partnership with Dr. Louis Ignaro, who did all of the research and the 250 studies on this, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in Medicine. He and his team said, you do not have a clotting disorder. You have an L-arginine deficiency. And he said, how long did they say they were going to treat you? I said, 16 months on a blood thinner and then rehab for the narcotic. He said, Dr. Harry, he said, send him 2 containers of the formula with Cardio for Life overnight. He said, Richard, when you get it, he said, you must take this on an empty stomach. It's very fast acting. He said, take one serving, 1 scoop first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, wait an hour before you eat, and take another serving at bedtime on an empty stomach and go to sleep. And he said, your clots will be gone in 30 days. Harry,
30 days.
Frank.
30 days?
Can you imagine me laying there thinking I could die? And I could have, but I was being very careful, and I'm anticipating, but I'm not going to. I'm saying, Lord, it's not my time yet. I've got things to do, but I'm going to be careful. But 16 months, and here this doctor says to me, if you do what I'm telling you to do, I know this formulation. He said it will reverse any vascular condition except needing a heart valve surgically replaced or repairing by surgery an aneurysm. He said, other than that, you could name them all. 10, 12, 15, 20, 25 vascular problems. He said plaque, clots, hardened arteries, blocked arteries, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, AFib, COPD, congestive heart failure, damage from a heart attack or a stroke. He kept going on. He said, all of them. And I said, this has got to be expensive. He said, yeah, you're not going to be able to afford it. He said, Dr. Harry, how much is it going to cost for 2 containers shipped overnight priority mail? Overnight mail. He said, less than $100, and he said, it'll be cheaper the second month. So I'm almost done with the testimony. So I'm waiting, and UPS, and I knew it was going to come in the evening, and I purposely didn't eat so I could take it right away. And when it came, my wife mixed it up for me. She was upstairs. I was doing what I needed to do, but I was stuck on the couch, 15 steps from the powder room so I could go to the bathroom. And then back to the couch and take a narcotic again, because anytime I moved, Frank, or walked, the pain was intense. So she mixes it up and I drank it. And in 15 minutes, I kind of felt something a little bit strange in my right leg, in the calf, which was very swollen. And it hurt. In 20 minutes, my calf is covered with perspiration beads. In 25 minutes, my leg had needles going through it. Like if you sleep on your arm too long and you wake up and the blood starts to go through it again and you got this tingling and needles in your hand and arms flopping back and forth because you stopped the circulation. There was no circulation there. And I yelled up to my wife and she came running down. She panicked and she said, "I'm calling 911. I said, No. I said, "Don't do that. This is exciting." And I said, "It's opening up my artery, Tippy. The blood's flowing through, and it's only been a half hour." Wow. So, and I said, "Look, it's my calf is a little bit softer." And she was sitting with me and holding my hand like a good wife would do. And I went to sleep, and she said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm fine." I said, "This is better than it's been the last 2 days." So I took it morning and evening for 7 days. I took it on the 8th day, and this was what I did. I would wake up in the morning, and I had my narcotic there, and I would take 2 with some water and wait about 20 minutes for it to kick in so I could stand up and make my way to the bathroom to go to the bathroom in the morning. And then I'd make my way back, and in about 15, 20 minutes, the pain would subside. The narcotic had kicked in, and I was okay for several hours now. Well, after the 8th day, the 9th day, I got up, and I did my assessment again, and I thought, it's different. And I moved my ankle back and forth, and I put my feet on the floor, and I pulled up they're not pajamas, but I don't know what you call them, lounging pants or whatever they're called, flannel.
Your long jeans.
And my calf was soft. Frank, my calf was soft. And I stood up, and I kind of ran in place. I walked around the table, and I thought, I'm going to try a couple squats. And I squatted down, and I walked around the whole downstairs. Frank, I had no pain. I had no pain. I had no swelling. There was no discomfort at all. And I was so excited. But I just stayed there. I gave myself a shot as a precaution. But I thought, this is good. And I took my cardio for life. And then it snowed a little bit in our driveway at the top's a large flat area. And there was about a half inch of very light snow. And I went out and I used the snow shovel, and I just walked, and it pushed it. There was no effort, and I didn't have any discomfort. I thought, I have to try this. A couple hours later, there was something I was hungry for, so I went up to the grocery store and got it, and it only took me an hour. It was something easy, and I actually cooked something and had it ready for my wife, and when she walked in, this is the end of my story, she said to me, she said, "Where did this come from?" I said, "I made it." She said, "You've been on your feet all that time to make." I said, "Tippy, look, come here." And I showed her that it was normal. I said, "I have no pain. I have no swelling. I have no discomfort. Look, I can do squats." She said, she said, "Oh my gosh." She said, "But look, please go sit down." I said, "Okay." And I didn't take a blood thinner again. On the 10th day, I did not take a blood thinner. I did not take a painkiller. I just took cardio for life. Now, one other thing to the end of this testimony. My left leg, at the time, I was suffering from vascular disease. Even though I did what I did and taught what I taught, I had a propensity toward this. And I had high cholesterol and high triglycerides. My blood pressure, however, was perfect. But my left leg was swollen and discolored. The veins were hard. They were full of plaque. And my calf was so swollen, they were going to take the vein out. They were going to devein my left leg. But they said they couldn't do it until after 16 months, till the clots were gone. So that wasn't my priority, but I kept taking the Cardio for Life twice a day. And in 44 days, I went back to the doctor. There was no evidence of any vascular disease in my left leg. And and by the way, I went to him, this doctor, my family doctor, and in 21 days, he couldn't get me in on the 11th day. He did the Doppler, and he said, if you weren't my friend, and I didn't do this test personally, I wouldn't believe this. His exact words were, Richard, he said, this is impossible by medical standards. How in the hell did you do that? And I told him about Cardio for Life. I said, here's Dr. Harry Elwart's phone number. I said, the man saved my life. I said, I consulted with Dr. Cook. He said, you mean from Stanford? I said, yes. And I said, and he's the one who told me what to do? He said, is this expensive? I said, no, it's probably about $88 for 2 containers.
Really?
It's all natural. It's all natural. So, and then I went back again in 2 weeks, and he looked at my left leg, and he said, that's not your bad leg. I said, Dr. Manchin, I only have 2 legs. I said, he already looked at my right leg, and he tested, he measured it, etc. He put the stethoscope on, the blood's flowing through, etc. He said, there's no reason for surgery. He said, you're well. I know, Frank, 45 days. I didn't have to have the surgery on my left leg. My clots were gone. They were probably gone in 8 to 10 days, but I knew it in 21 days that they were gone. I didn't have to have the major surgery. I didn't have to have that. I haven't had any issues since. I went back in 2 weeks. He checked my cholesterol and triglycerides, and they were perfect. Do you think I was happy?
Ecstatic.
Now, I can't wait. I know I'll be on. I'm not going to be saying much when Dr. Harry is on, and he presents so well. This man is so knowledgeable. But Frank, Dr. Harry, that's what everybody calls him, Dr. Harry Elwart, saved my life. He designed this formula from Dr. Louis Ignaro's research, and he did dissertation work with Dr. Cook. I mean, my God, there's $350 billion spent daily on the cost of treating heart disease patients. It's staggering. It's absolutely staggering. Every 20 seconds, there's a heart attack. Every 60 seconds, Frank, somebody dies of a heart attack. 450,000 people yearly have a heart attack. I mean, and that's where I was. That's where I was. Every 3 minutes, somebody has a stroke. And I don't have those problems anymore. Now, to reconfirm this, and then I'm done with this portion of it. I've never had a kidney stone in my life. And at 74 years of age, this past April, I woke up with intense pain in my back and in my lower area down by my bladder, and I thought it was the digestive system. And after 3 hours on the floor in the bathroom downstairs in intense pain, and then I started throwing up, I did everything I could, and normally I'm able to fix things like that. And she said, do you want me to call 911? I said, no, just take me up to the new hospital, emergency room hospital in our neighborhood, which is 2 minutes away. They took me in. They didn't know what was wrong. They did a scan on me, and they did a blood panel of 100 benchmarks. And in about 35 minutes, the doctor comes in, and they gave me something for pain, and it was subsiding, thank God. And she said, Dr. Petrus, I have good news and bad news. And I said, give me the bad news first. She said, you had a kidney stone. I said, what? She said, you had a kidney stone. I said, well, I've had pain in my left side and my lower back if I bend over and weed eat and so on. I said, probably 20 years. She said, you probably had it in there that long. She said, the good news is you passed it. I said, you betcha I did. I said, about 3 minutes before my wife brought me up here, I had to urinate, and I said, a male knows when you pass a kidney stone. And I passed it. And there were several of them.
Ouchie.
And she said, but how old are you? I said, 74.
Ooh.
And she said, and she had like 8 pages of results from the blood panel. She said, 74? She said, what meds are you on? I said, doctor, I'm not on any meds. It was a female doctor. She said, you're taking no medication. I said, no. And she said, well, let me tell you something. She said, if everybody your age tested like this, we'd literally be out of business. She said, you are as healthy as a 25-year-old. She said, look. She said, every one of these panels is perfectly in the perfect position, in the middle of the range, not too low, not too high, perfect.
Thank you.
She said, congratulations. She said, how do you do that? I said, I'm a naturopathic doctor. And this was her response. It was classic. She went, oh, now I get it. She said, you practice what you teach. I said, yes, ma'am, I do. I said, but thank you for taking care of me in here. You were thorough, you were efficient. And she said, well, just keep doing what you're doing. And she said, but we're not going to hire you here. She said, we can't afford to have you up here. So, and everybody knows what I do with the activation formulas. But Frank, if everybody over the age of 35 or 40 took even one scoop of Cardio for Life, they would prevent, again, it's designed for all forms of vascular disease. But if Dr. Harry was on the phone tonight, he said he would tell you that the number one killer of people worldwide is heart disease, and he would say it's epidemic because of our diet, chemicals in our environment, and some of it is hereditary. But the cost, $350 billion a day spent worldwide on treating vascular problems. Frank, I don't have them anymore. I don't have them anymore. The last thing I'm concerned about is a clot or a heart attack or a stroke. Maybe if the dinar revalued, I'm liable to have a little heart attack. I'm just kidding. But listen, brother, I have helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people with vascular disease using Dr. Harry's formula. And he is so good to teach me everything that he taught me. I said, but I can't reiterate this fact enough. I am here on this call tonight, and I will be excited to be on and listen to him on the 17th. And your listeners will benefit by hearing what he has to say. Dr. Harry Elwart saved my life. I am indebted to the man, and because of it, I take Cardio for Life. It's inexpensive, twice a day, every day. I will do it till the good Lord takes me home. And I will tell you that people that contact me, and they have vascular disease, and I go through my consultation of do you drink water, what's your diet like, do you have proper bowel elimination. We always talk about getting rid of parasites, but if it's a vascular problem, I put them on Cardio for Life. Dr. Harry taught me the protocols, and most all the time, it's at least one tablet of protandim or F2, and at least 2 servings, could be as many as 4 a day for a month. And he has a protocol. Now, folks, listen, some of you out there have gone through Widowmaker and the plaque and the blockage and so on, and some of you have already been told you're listening and you have blocked arteries. Some of you have had stents put in because of blocked arteries. Dr. Harry can show you how to open up totally, get rid of all of the plaque in your arteries, I don't care what age you are, in 30 days. 30 days, and keep them that way. Frank, it's an incredible formulation. I am so elated that you're making this formula available to your family.
That's what we do. We bring in products that fill in three boxes. The number one criteria is that we want a product that would bring somebody closer to our Heavenly Father. Number two, we want a product that would improve their health. Number three, we want a product that maybe they might be able to make a business out of it and be able to help themselves and their families. This product is a product that is going to help people physiologically, no doubt, biologically. The second criteria of our check boxes. You know, Doctor, there's this program called, I think it's called Gold Hunters, where these people, they look for gold, they dig in the ground, and they have to use these ponds of water. And I was watching the program last week. They were going from one pond to another pond to a third pond. And the goal was that eventually that third pond, all the silk would settle from the water and it would be clear enough that they could, use it again. That's interesting because as I was looking at that, it reminded me of our cardiovascular system. I started out by saying that our fingertips, our nose, our toes, they get cold at our age of 70 and above. And that's because the plumbing is plugged up. The plumbing in that show for the gold hunters, the plumbing, the tubing that they were using was just filled with silk. All the settlement from the pond. They had to blow it all out, and then it was moving and running very efficiently, very quickly. Same thing with a human being. If a human being, he doesn't see it because it's a gradual effect. It's not like, the next day you wake up and, oh my goodness, you've got 40% blockage in your superior vena cava. What? Overnight? No, actually, that was about 20 years of potato chips and ice cream on the couch at 1 o'clock in the morning, and not even bothering to work out. Yeah, so the condition is a chronic condition that gets to a point where, oh my goodness, it's devastating. It's devastating because it can lead to what's called a heart attack. And then once you get to that heart attack, now you've got your equipment, your pump, man. It's no longer working at full efficiency. You may be working at 60%. You may need a pacemaker. You may need an operation. You may need a bypass surgery just to keep that heart going. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to fill up that pump with mud and crud when they're looking for gold. It's not going to work for them. You don't want to fill your heart up with the things that it's going to just plug it up. And the problem is that you don't know you're plugging it up. You don't see the evidence until all of a sudden, it's the big one, Elizabeth. It's the big one, and you have a heart attack. And if you survive it, you live a life that is very, very handicapped. You're crippled because the flow of oxygen, the flow of your blood has been reduced. Look here. Once you clean out the pipes in your home, the water reaches through the shower, it reaches to the bathroom, it reaches to the faucet, it reaches it faster and quicker. The same thing with the human body. We're plugged up, and it's because of our lifestyle, our environment, and we need to unplug it. The doctor, Rich here, was explaining to you that he went through a tragedy where they told him, you're about to die. I mean, we may be talking about hours, and you're going to die. But this gentleman was blessed to have another gentleman give him a story about this product. He tried it. And here's the interesting, if I'm understanding you correctly, Dr. Rich, you say that you was taking the product, your wife was right next to you, and she says to you, what's the matter with you? You actually was able to feel the flow. That means you would feel awareness, you would feel warmth, you would feel the tingling, the numbing sensation, like when your leg falls asleep, that would go away. What did you experience that happened so quickly?
Well, it's ironic that you would ask me that because I could be right back there at that time right now. It's so present in my mind. Have you ever outside with a garden hose, taken the hose and crimped it? and crimped it. If for whatever reason you had to take the nozzle off or something, or you
That's
had
a
to
blockage.
for a while to stop the flow of the water, and the rest of the hose started getting a little larger, and then all of a sudden you let the hose take the crimp out of the hose, and that water shoots out with such force, it's unbelievable, and then it finally gets back to normal and slows back down again. Frank, when that happened, it was like that experience with the hose. That blood burst through that blockage all the way up, Frank, all the way from my ankle to my groin, but I could feel it in my calf because that's where the worst discomfort and swelling was, and the pain. But it was flowing through there. I could feel it without any problem whatsoever. And Dr. Harry will talk about this, but he's got a wonderful video out, and he'll direct you to it. But in the video, he talks about when you initiate, it's called vasodilation. L-arginine is a vasodilator. It opens up the area to get the blood and oxygen through. He said when you initiate that process, you can't stop it. He said you can't stop vasodilation when you utilize L-arginine. He said it opens up the veins, the capillaries and arteries, and increases the flow of blood and gets oxygen where it goes. He said you can't stop the positive effects of vasodilation when you use this. And he sends that's not a floppy disk, it's a CD, I guess.
Yeah, CDs.
It's a really good one, and he sends a couple brochures, and one of them that he sends is just brilliant. It's the benefits of using cardio for life, and this would only take me like 60 seconds, but there are 22 benefits. But just to give the family a little bit of an idea, and it's going to be, folks, please tune in on the 17th and listen to this man. If you're suffering from vascular disease, you could start a container morning and evening right now. And if necessary, then we can utilize, I'll help. I know what he says, but if it's like really severe, then you should talk with him. It'll only take 2, 3, 4 minutes with Dr. Harry. He'll tell you exactly what to do, how to do it, how much to take, and so on. But Frank, may I read the first 3? It'll only take 60 seconds.
Go ahead.
Number 1, he has in his brochure, arginine is 1,000 times more powerful than any naturally occurring antioxidant. Arginine's antioxidant properties support various body systems and may protect against heart disease, stroke, cancer, and diabetes. It's not just for the vascular system, as well as slowing premature aging. Number 2, it offers wide-ranging cardiovascular support, including controlling blood pressure and plaque formation. Nitric oxide keeps arteries relaxed and pliable for normal blood pressure, preventing hypertension and angina. I forgot about angina. And number 3, it enhances memory, particularly long-term memory, and may help to reverse the effects of dementia and Alzheimer's. We could go on and on and on and on. There are, he lists 22 benefits and all the references and all the research, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I can't emphasize this enough. I mean, I'm thankful, Frank. I'm very humbled by this. I'm very humbled to be here today. I'm very humbled to have learned as a naturopath some basic tenets that if people do it, if it's in my Telegram room, I put it in yesterday, 3 or 4 posts, and I said, look, if you do these things, this is kind of a winter approach to staying healthy, you're going to improve your health. And, my God, there are so many people. It's the number 1 killer, more so than cancer. And I work with a lot of people with cancer, but I work with a lot of people with vascular disease. And I will say this, family, there aren't very many people, and and he will tell you that a lot of the people that contact him are told, oh, it's really bad, you don't have much time left, and so on. And it goes back to, once you initiate vasodilation, you can't stop that process. Well, and it's quick. It's within 20 minutes to a half hour you start seeing the results. Well, these hopeless individuals with benchmarks that are so terrible from taking the medications and so on that don't do anything to overcome the problems with vascular disease, the benchmarks start returning back to normal. And he has lots of stories to tell you about how that happened to many, many people very quickly, very fast. But I don't know of anybody that we weren't able to teach how to overcome their vascular problems.
Doctor.
They all improved tremendously, and most of them. How many people have high blood pressure? How many people had stents and had bypass surgery? Well, those people, Frank, are going to live because they've bypassed the blockage, but they haven't fixed the problem. All the plaque's still there. Okay, you can do surgery to bypass the problem area, but it's going to happen again. And with what Dr. Harry has developed, you don't have to worry about that. Just like I don't worry about clots anymore. I don't worry about that. I don't worry about getting a heart attack or a stroke or something like that. My heart fluttered a little bit when I had my first hole-in-one last year after 74 years, but it wasn't anything serious. It was a wonderful thing, and my heart was racing, and I was all excited, etc. But let me say this one more thing, one more. Dr. Harry talks about this all the time, and he has a video about this. He shows an artery that's totally open, and there's peristaltic action. When the heart beats, the arteries constrict and they expand, and they constrict and they expand, and the blood's going through. You can see it. Then he shows an artery that's 90% blocked. And he said, this person that has the artery that's 90% blocked feels as good as this person that has an artery that's totally open. He said, unfortunately, with vascular disease, many times, most of the times, more times than not, people do not know they have a problem until they have a heart attack or a stroke, or it's too late.
Yep.
You can avoid that, folks. If you're not there, you can avoid that. If you're suffering from vascular disease, Harry Elwart will save your life just like he saved mine. And you can get his miraculous, life-saving, cardiovascular affliction issues, problems reversed. You can get his product. It's very inexpensive through Frank. There's a powder, orange, grape, peach, and pina colada. You mix a scoop in the morning and a scoop at bedtime. It tastes really good. I mean, Frank, some stuff, you know as well as I do, it doesn't taste too good, but we take it anyhow because we think it's good for us. This is good for us, and it tastes good. And then sometimes men don't want to drink a lot. I only take 4 ounces of liquid instead of 8 because I want it to taste really good. But sometimes men don't want to drink a lot of liquid before they go to bed. We have 2 chewable formulas, chocolate and berry, that you can put in your mouth, take a mouthful of water, chew it up. They dissolve very quickly, swallow it, and drink an ounce or so of water and go to sleep. It doesn't cause a problem for the men at night. So, and also, one of the benefits is it helps with erectile dysfunction because that's a blood flow issue. So, Frank, I'm excited about this formula. I can't take. I'm as healthy now at 75 as I have been maybe when I was 45 or 50, and Cardio for Life is part of it. I mean, it's a big part of it. I don't have the vascular issues anymore, and I'm not going to worry about having them. Thank God. The Lord's going to take me home sometime. Maybe He's just going to take me. But whenever I go, I don't believe it's going to be because I have a vascular issue.
Well, brother, we can tell your enthusiasm. We can tell your belief in this product, in the manner in which you've expressed yourself tonight. You love this product because it saved your life. I feel the same way for two other products. One of them is Protandem. For two other products that helped me with cancer. And I feel the same way about another product that is helping to keep my sugar level. And now all of a sudden I feel that this product is of the same criteria, of the same level of attention. It is now going to become a part of my life until I die. It will now be the liquid that I will use to wash down my Protandem and my Immune, my other products that I take. Blockage is the whole concept, family, is that you cannot block the blood flow in your arteries, veins, and capillaries. The movement must be consistent. You can't be a pawn and just sit still. You have to be like a river, a stream that's constantly moving. This might not be the best example, and I apologize, but we are adults, and we are talking about some health issues that can save our lives. You know, when I went through chemotherapy, it shut down my body, but I didn't know it was going to shut down everything. I couldn't see very well. I lost half my hair. I broke out in all kinds of, what do you call them? Rashes all over. Rashes, pimples or whatever, all over my body. A lot of things, changed in me. And during those 3 months that I was going through chemotherapy, I think I might have I might have had a bowel movement maybe like 3 times. It wasn't until, and I felt horrible. I felt horrible. Of course, I blamed it on the chemotherapy. I'm sure that was 90% of it. But the thing that was interesting is that afterwards, the doctor sat down and talked with me, and they all explained to me, they said, "You're about to have a bowel explosion." And I said, "What do you mean?" You have not been able to have bowel movements because your body shut down. But you've been eating every day. I said, "Not really." With chemotherapy, I didn't want to eat. But I did eat, I suppose, in those 3 months, huh? And he says, "You have a blockage." I said, "Oh, no, now what?" No, 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 no. "You have not had bowel movements." I said, "Yeah, because I guess because of the chemotherapy." "Yeah, but you're about to have them. They're going to kick in again." Oh. So what we're trying to tell you, Mr. Villa, is that when your bowel movements kick in, don't let it surprise you. You got it, Jan? That ring.
I got it. Hold on. I'm on a live.
Oh, that's your phone. That's your phone. Yeah.
That was my phone.
Gotcha.
The fellow that
But just imagine.
friend that's in the hospital. So
Oh.
anyhow, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But just imagine,
I'm
family.
sorry for the interruption.
No. They come first. No worries. But just imagine, family. We're talking about moving your blood. The doctors were talking about moving my waste that had accumulated in my body all that time. You want to move your blood, family. Blockage is so dangerous. The doctors will tell you from the day you're born until you die, inflation, inflammation. You don't want any swelling. You don't want any inflammation. And the problem is that comes from swelling, from overeating, from being too fat, from edema, from infections, from anatomical obstructions like COPD because we decided to smoke all of our lives. Yeah, these blockages, these forms, swelling, edema. Edema is a lot of fluids that are blocking the flow of something. Well, you don't want your blood to be blocked. And this product is going to help to unblock your cardiovascular, your whole plumbing system. Now, when it does, just like the doctor testified to you tonight, you heard me ask him a second time just to make sure we understood what he was saying with clarity. Here's what you're going to notice. And it seems that you're going to notice it rather quickly, maybe within hours to a day. You're going to notice, for example, well, gentlemen, at our age, blood don't flow down there that much, does it? What happens if it starts to flow? What happens in the middle of the night to us? Check that out and see if that starts to change on you. Your thinking, your ability to actually think. You know that fogginess. All of a sudden, your brain is super enriched with oxygen because the blood is flowing like a river,
Yes, sir.
and you're just flowing. I mean, you're just thinking. You're thinking more than you should be thinking. Probably you're thinking to yourself, "What's wrong with me?" No, it's just that all of a sudden you woke your brain up. You just flooded it with oxygens and nutrients that you haven't had before. Your vision. Don't be surprised if that blurry vision starts to get more focused all of a sudden. Your vertigo, your dizziness. Don't be surprised if those things improved. The body.
You've got to be able to get blood, oxygen, and nutrients to every part of the body. And Frank, everything that you're talking about, part of the reason it occurs is because there isn't enough flow of blood, oxygen, and nutrients to the eyes and those parts of the body, and so on. And this gets it there. But let me just interject this very quickly. You can't take Cardio for Life and the LifeVantage formulas at exactly the same time. And I'll teach you this, Frank, if you just get with me. You take the Cardio for Life the very first thing in the morning, and then wait an hour before you take your tandem formula.
Oh, thank you. Okay, then I'll take it with I'll take it with my water like I do my distilled water, and then I'll take this later. Thank you. You bet. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to teach you, family, more and more. Right now, we're going to try to answer some questions to see how many we can help. But I just wanted to reiterate that this is a product that's going to clean out. It's a rotor-rooter. It's Drano for your arteries, veins, and capillaries. And when it does, when you use this product, you're going to think clearer. You're going to see better. You're going to have more energy. You'll see. You'll see. And the doctor is a wonderful testimony, the story that he gave tonight. And that's why I tell you, try your best to remember this video. 3325, 3325. That's an easy number to remember. You got somebody that, you just had a heart attack? Yes, I did. I don't feel good, man. Really? Yeah, doctor says I may have some heart issues. Really? Family, if you don't tell somebody about Cardio Life, you're losing a wonderful opportunity to help somebody, sincerely. So now let's see. What do you think, doctor? Are you in the mood to answer some questions?
I will if there are questions, absolutely.
Okay, let's give this a try. I'm going to scroll back. 1, 2, 3, 4, about a good hour's worth. I'm scrolling back, and I'm just going to pick up wherever I can find here. Let's see. The very first one I can find, I have cholesterol. Doctor told me genetics. This is cholesterol medication. Okay, they tell you have high cholesterol. Can we take this product, sir?
Absolutely. You may need to.
You may need to.
I always refer those people who have cholesterol issues to Dr. Harry, because Dr. Harry has the latest research that vascular doctors don't want out there. But his formula is this. He said you start at 250 and then you add your age. So I'm 75. So 250 and 75 is 325. So he says, okay, Dr. Rich, if your cholesterol is below 325 for your age, you're good. Don't worry. And I said, he said, medical doctors want it down below 90. He said that's why there's so many people with Alzheimer's. The older we get, family, the more cholesterol that we need. Our brain is 78% cholesterol. Our immune system needs cholesterol to function. Dr. Harry will tell you all cholesterol is good. So yes, if it's really high, then he should probably take some Cardio for Life. But if he's on statin drugs, for example, if they put him on, or if you're on high blood pressure, high blood pressure is caused by hardened arteries. And once you soften those up, the blood pressure comes down very quickly.
That's true. Good
it
point.
Comes down very fast. But yes, he should take it.
Without
a doubt, he should take it. But above and beyond that, he's got plaque in his system. He's got hardened arteries. He may have some hidden clots in there that are sitting there, not big enough to be moved anyhow. anyway. So if they're in there, let's dissolve them. If you have plaque, let's dissolve it. If you have major issues with plaque, it'll dissolve the plaque quickly within 30 days using Dr. Harry's protocol. But if you have, say, 40 or 50% or 60% blockage, and you take it twice a day the way Dr. Harry has designed, it's going to take a little bit longer, but every time you take it, it's going to help to start dissolving that plaque.
Let's rapid fire some of these answers because there's a lot of questions. The next one, by the way, somebody's giving a backup testimony to you, Doctor. Ronnie Raleigh is saying, absolutely, you can feel the flow of blood going through the veins and arteries. We have our brother Andy who's asking, will this help apical variant hypertrophic cardiomyopathy?
Yes.
I believe it would. Yes, sir.
All the vascular diseases, except for heart valve replacement or repairing an aneurysm.
Bingo.
The answer to if you're suffering from any of those, this formula is designed to help with any and all. AFib and COPD. I've had people who said, I can't make it up a flight of steps without stopping 3, 4, 5 times. It takes me 20 minutes to get upstairs. And in 7 days, they can go up and down the steps without any trouble. I've had people who say, Dr. Rich, I used to go out and get the mail every morning. I can't do that anymore because I can't breathe. In a short period of time, they're walking out to get the mail, and then some and coming back in. Some are saying, I'm walking a quarter mile. I'm walking around the block. I'm doing it slowly and increase. But that's the kind of stories that Dr. Harry gets and I get on a regular basis. Remember this, family. This formula, Dr. Harry designed this formula to improve any and every vascular disorder. It won't fix the cause, what caused it, but a tablet of protandim NRF2 will do that. But it will fix. It's not a Band-Aid approach. It'll repair any and all of the vascular issues except the 2 that I named.
Right there, that statement, that's what you want to walk away with tonight. This product will improve any heart condition, almost any heart condition. It doesn't deal with what caused it. It deals with what it's doing to you at that time. By the way, Doctor, we have Paul S. that wants to say, I went and I found this product after you mentioned the doctor on your last UB2B, Frank, and I found it. I ordered some. Have your viewers read the testimonials. They are amazing. Constance York says, this is the answer to many prayers. That's right, Constance. That's why we bring these type of products with you. Sharon Ford says, Dr. Rich, what a beautiful testimony. Thank you. Denise Lampley wants to know, does this work with memory loss? I'm going to say yes, because you're flowing oxygen to the brain. And if you remember, I told you, don't be surprised if you're thinking faster or more aware. Doctor, real quick, answer it.
Yes, it's going to help absolutely positively. And if they're taking statins, get off the statins and you'll see real quick improvement to memory loss.
Okay, good point, by the way. Thank you. Let's see here. What about AFib for patients? Is this okay to take?
Absolutely, positively. And you can take this with your medication. Dr. Harry will tell you that. You can take it, like if a person has high blood pressure, you take your high blood pressure medication and you start taking the Cardio for Life like he's designed it to be taken, and then you monitor your blood pressure. Your blood pressure is going to come down. So when it starts coming down, you start weaning off the meds.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Finish.
Safely. You can take them both. He'll encourage you to take them both for a period of time and then monitor and then wean from the drugs. Frank, most everybody wants to get off of these drugs, the medications for these vascular issues. They don't like them.
Ain't that the truth?
I was told I was going to take a blood thinner the rest of my life. I took it for 11 days. That was it. Ladies
and gentlemen, it's a good time to interject. This product will prevent and reverse arrhythmic rhythms. I was born with a hole in my heart until it grew to the point where it closed, but I suffered from a backflow of CO2 blood back into my atrium where it shouldn't have been. and it causes me to go. It would cause me to get dizzy at times, but eventually it closed. But it walked into an irregular heartbeat. But that also I grew out of. This is a product that will definitely prevent and reverse any type of arrhythmic rhythms in your body. Steel Cowgirl. I don't have high blood pressure nor any heart conditions that I know of. I'm 63 years old. Will this benefit? 'Cause I'm already on NRF2. Yes, it is a wonderful.
Yes, it will. At least a serving at bedtime. At least. But if I was 62, you got to know that there's hardened arteries and there's blockage. There's arteriosclerosis, which is blocked arteries, and then there's there's arteriosclerosis, which is blockage. There's arteriosclerosis, which is the hardened arteries.
Right.
Anyone 60 years of age has hardened arteries. Everyone has some blockage. So I take it twice a day for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and then go down when you feel. You'll know when you start taking this. You feel it. You feel it working. Like Dr. Harry says, when you initiate vasodilation, you can't stop it. When you open up those arteries and veins and capillaries, and that blood starts to go through, you feel it. You know it. So when you're ready, go down to a maintenance and maintain your gains so that none of that stuff that you were afflicted with as far as vascular disease is concerned ever comes back again. That's what I'm doing.
We have someone is asking a question. Roll lady. She says, so what do you mean? It's a drink and a pill? No, Roll lady. If you saw, I took a glass of distilled water and I put one of the scoops that's inside of this container and I stirred it up and I drank it. And that's it. Now, if you don't want to do the liquid, you have these chewables, and it comes in a chocolate or berry. So it comes in chocolate or berry flavor in case you don't want the liquid. Personally, I'm going to go with the liquid myself because it has the option of giving you 4 different flavors. You have grape, you have orange, you have apricot, and you have pineapple. Hang loose like a rubber goose with the pineapple.
Orange, grape, peach, and pina colada.
There you go. So the product itself is it is in a pill form and it is in a powder form. You take one or the other. Okay. Let's go on to the next question. A nurse friend of mine that went through all natural told me for rashes or hives, wet your skin. Okay, they're giving advice. No, that's not a question. Dr. Rich, is it okay to take cardio for life with ivermectin?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so
Absolutely.
Here's another one. Okay, no, that's the same question. I am younger and don't have the problems, but it's for prevention, right? So I just want to clear up my tubes or keep them nice and clear. That is correct, Row Lady. It is a good. You really don't need insurance, do you? Your house hasn't burned down. You really don't need to take vitamins and minerals. You can get that from your food. But how often?
I'm going to ask Dr. Harry when he's on, because can children take it? And he'll explain, yes. Up to a certain age, you take a quarter scoop, and up to another age, you take a half scoop. And I think as long as they're 10 or 12 or older, they can take a whole scoop. But unfortunately, there's children now that are getting old age diseases, and cardio for life is necessary sometimes for children.
All righty, let's see if we can find another question here. Yes, Jan.
Somebody wanted to know if there's dyes in the.
Are there dyes in this product, sir, that we need to worry about, like that red number 9 dye?
I don't think so, but that's a good question for Dr. Harry.
Okay.
He's the formulator.
Alrighty, poor circulation in legs. Yep, this will definitely help it if you have poor circulation in your legs. How long does?
People have that. Oh, geez, I just lost the thought.
Well, you think about it.
vascular peripheral disease. They get
Yeah.
numb and swollen in the ankles up to the knees, and when they get older, and they're told to wear these suppression stockings, which, by the way, are okay. They're good, but that's because the valves get a little worn out down there and don't open and close correctly, and doesn't pump the liquid back up to the heart again to be distributed all throughout the body. This overcomes that problem very, very quickly. Neuropathy. If it's not nerve damage neuropathy, it works very well with that. And Frank, I have this would take 30 seconds. I have another testimony from a male nurse that is incredible. If you want me to provide it.
Go right ahead, sir.
I got a call from one of my Life Vantage customers, and she was also on Cardio for Life. And she said, Dr. Rich, my husband's a nurse. He's a male nurse, and she said, will you talk with him? I said, sure. And he told me what his name was, and I said, what's going on? And he said, my blood pressure, all of a sudden, it's gone sky high. He said, I'm going to have a stroke. And I said, your wife has Cardio for Life, correct? And he said, yes. I said, take a scoop of Cardio for Life in 4 ounces of water every 20 minutes for the next hour and call me back. He said, okay. I said, as a matter of fact, the first dose, take a double scoop. And then 20 minutes later, take a scoop again, monitor your blood pressure, keep taking it, keep your feet elevated, and then call me back. He called me back in 35 minutes after he took 2 doses. He said, Dr. Rich, he said, it's down almost to normal. He said, I saved an emergency room visit. I was getting ready to call 911. He said, I need to be taking this. I said, yes, you do. And he made an order immediately. And so he wasn't taking it, but his wife was. And thank God she had it, because he may have not.
There's a lady here by the name of Valencia X's that says, can I just take this product for high blood pressure? And I believe you just answered that question, doctor. Let me see if we can move on and answer another or ask another question here. Is there a number that I can call? Because I just placed my order and my email is wrong. I noticed after I placed my order, MJ Fitcher. Well, you placed the order on my form. If you went to my form and you clicked on my banner, then call us. We'll help you. Our phone number is 419-283-2552. 419-283-2552. My wife will post it there for you as well, Fitcher, in case you need it. Let's see, what is another question? We're running out of questions. How long does it take to clear your arteries? Well, what do you think, doctor?
If you use